Who do you think I am?
I can be anything.
Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Insight, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about. Okay, so real quick, I was going to make this video a part of my 760 spinoff, but it was going to take me a lot longer to tell the story and the message that I wanted to get across to you all than 60 seconds. So I went ahead and just made it a regular Insight video. Hopefully you all enjoy. Knowing your worth. So I want to make this real quick, but before I get started, I just want to say that I had to restart this video because I was telling you a little bit too much information. I was telling you about how much I was getting offered for the salary and all that stuff when I get to the story. So there are a lot of people out there and employers that will try to tell you what you're worth and what your value is, but you have to be aware of those things yourself. So know what your experience, your education, and your skills are worth and what value you can bring to an organization, so that you just won't settle for anything the way that this one company tried to get over on me. So getting to my story, looking for a new job. Wasn't too happy with the situation that I was in, so I started looking. A recruiter hit me up and she was talking about this, company that were looking to hire like 20 instructional designers. I was like, oh man, I know I can get on here. Just because the experience that I've had before. So it's for a government defense contract organization. Now I've worked with two companies that do the same thing prior to applying to this job. So I was like, this should not be hard at all, because a lot of the people here in Orlando within that sector kind of just like go from one company to another once they get into that. But anyway, get the interview. The interview went really well. I gave great examples. I gave great answers. I had all the experience in the primary software that I would be using. I even, had experience using some of the government software that they were asking about. So I was like, yeah, that's a big plus. Get to the second part of the whole interview process. So it was a written part where you have to go in and answer these crazy questions. And I was thinking, like, what does this have to do with being an instructional designer? They had already told me in the first part of the interview that I wouldn't have to do quality assurance or QA because they had an internal department for that. So I was like, okay, so I just need to go in here, build out the lessons, build out the courses, whatever, using the software. And I was like, that's great because I hate QA. And hear back from the recruiter the next day, and it's like, yeah, they got good news and bad news. They want to bring you on because the recruiter, let me give this back up really quick. The recruiter was thinking, looking at my resume and job experience and education and everything, that I could be brought in at the higher level. So they were hiring for level 1 and level 2 instructional designers, and she thought that I could be brought in for a level 2 instructional designer. They wanted to bring me in at a level 1 instructional designer. And I was just like, man, I really wanted to get out of my situation. So I told her, give me a day to think it over. The day passed and she hit me back up, and I was like, I just can't do it for the salary that they want to bring me in at, because it's a big decrease in, my salary. So she's like, well, if we can bring you in at X amount of dollars an hour, would you be willing to take the offer or consider it? And I was like, yeah, I could do that. And so she's like, okay, I'm gonna get back with them and tell them that you have to come in at this dollar amount. That's the lowest that you will accept. And she did that. A couple of days later, she came back to me and said that they wanted to go ahead and extend the offer at the higher dollar amount. And just over the 2 days between when she got back to me with the initial feedback and the second round of feedback, I was just thinking, they really tried me, just with my prior work experience, about 4 or 5 years as an instructional designer, about 2 of those years being in government defense contracting, and the skills, the software that I'm able to use. And not only that, I have a master's in instructional technology and a PhD in instructional systems and workforce development. So to really undermine my education, intelligence, and skills and work experience was just kind of like a big turnoff. And after thinking about it over those couple of days, I just gave the recruiter some type of little BS answer as to why I didn't want to take the position, because at the end of the day, it was really about they tried to undercut me and devalue me as a potential employee, and at the same time they wanted to bring in somebody with a high level of skills at a cheap price. So that's something that you need to be aware of as well when you're applying for jobs, whether it's your first job, where if you change, whether or not you're changing jobs or you're changing careers. Make sure that people aren't, I guess, sensing the desperation. So you might need to be careful with what you're telling recruiters and employers when you're interviewing with them, so they can say, oh, this person really wants to get out of the situation, so they'll be a great person to add on to our team. They have all these skills, all this experience, this education, XYZ. We can get him or her in here for probably a cheap price, because they're trying to get out of their situation, or the economy is bad and they're trying to get a job that's more stable. And all that might be true as far as the economy, or you might might need a job to pay bills and stuff, but you just need to make sure that you aren't taking the first thing that comes to you, and that you are being paid and compensated appropriately for what you can bring. So make sure that when you're talking to them and they make you an offer, say, give me a day or two to think about it, and really make sure that it's the best option for you, and that you're not being cheated out of what somebody else might be getting that has a lower skill or experience level than you, just because they're negotiating better, or they're not as desperate as you and they're demanding a higher pay. And that's pretty much it, you guys. I just wanted to, one little side note. I talked to somebody else and he was telling me how he interviewed with the company as well, and he didn't take the position with the company because they were trying to underpay him for what he was worth. So there are just some companies out there that will try to get you in, like I said earlier, for a cheaper price, especially if you have a lot of these skills. So just make sure that you are aware of those things, and good luck to all of you all on your job searches, on your interviews, and all that good stuff. So that's it for me. Keep your dreams in sight, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.